Hey y'all, welcome back to my place and welcome to day 1 of 12 days of cookies. So my first recipe is Scandinavian Christmas ginger cookies. So it's these guys right here. And I'm a big fan of ginger, so I was really excited to try these. And the recipe is pretty basic. There is going to be butter replacement, which is very common, but you know, there's vegan butters, so that's fine. That's it. There's no eggs in this recipe, so that's awesome. I don't have to worry about egg replacement for this cookie. What I am going to have to, not necessarily replace, but I kind of don't want to go looking for this ingredient, and it is the dark corn syrup. I have regular corn syrup, but I don't have dark corn syrup. But I think when I was researching how to make it yourself at home, you just need corn syrup and molasses. So if you have those two ingredients, then you can make the dark corn syrup. But if you want to go out and get dark corn syrup, or if you already have it, awesome. Hopefully this recipe works out exactly how I pictured it in my head. For this recipe, you will need vegan butter. I use Earth Balance, granulated sugar, orange zest, dark corn syrup, and this one I did DIY using corn syrup and molasses. The recipe is below. You also need some water, flour, ground ginger, ground cloves, baking soda, and salt. So we're going to start off by putting our butter in our mixer, or in a large bowl if you're using a hand mixer, and we're also going to add in our sugar, and we're going to beat that until it is nice and fluffy. Once that is incorporated, we're going to add in our molasses, or I should say our dark corn syrup, and our water. Then we're going to beat that until it is well combined, and then we can add in our orange zest. Once that's mixed in, make sure to scrape the bowl a couple times and then mix it again. Then we're going to take our flour and we're going to mix in our dry ingredients, so the spices, the baking soda, and the salt, and we're just going to mix it well. Then we can add it into our butter mixture, making sure to carefully do it so you're not dropping it all over the place like I am. Once it's combined, it's going to look a little bit like this. It's first time making this recipe, so it did look a little dry to me, but I was assuming that, well, that's the way the dough is meant to be. So now you're going to divide the dough into two, and you're going to flatten it out into a thin disc. So I had to use a rolling pin to get it to about ½ an inch thick. The book says to just wrap it in parchment paper, but I felt like the dough was going to dry out in the refrigerator with just the parchment paper, so I decided to also wrap it in plastic wrap. However, the plastic was not sticking very well to the dough, so I don't know how helpful that was. But once you get your dough all wrapped up, make sure to chill it for at least 3 hours in the fridge. Okay, so now once your dough is chilled, you're going to roll it out and cut your shapes into it. I used about a 2-inch size cookie cutter, and I made some trees and also mousse, but you can use whatever shape you like. As you can see, the dough was a little bit dry and crumbly, so it made it incredibly hard to transfer the cutouts onto my prepared baking sheets. So what I ended up doing is using a spatula and getting them out one by one and just carefully removing all the excess dough that was around it. Also, I apologize for not having the footage of me putting it on the parchment paper, or I mean the cookie sheets. For some reason, it just totally slipped my mind. I thought I had it, but I guess I didn't. While you're getting your cookies ready, make sure to have your oven preheating to 325 degrees Fahrenheit. Once you have all your cookie cutouts onto your prepared baking sheets, you're going to put them in the oven and bake them for about 8 to 10 minutes. That's what the magazine says. However, I would recommend adding an extra 4 to 5 minutes Again, I apologize for not having any footage of these cookies coming out of the oven, but I do have this footage from my iPhone of my cats helping me out with the photo shoot. Though this clip looks very blurry because again, this is shot on my iPhone, but basically what I wanted to show you was the thickness of the cookie, which is very similar to a Biscoff cookie, if you're familiar with those. Taste-wise, I want to say it is similar to Biscoff as well. The only difference I would say is that you can get the slightest hint of orange because it does have the orange zest in it, but I actually really like that subtle hint of orange in there with all the warm spices. Texture-wise, I really wish I would have baked them longer so they could have that texture similar to Biscoff. I know I mentioned that cookie a lot, but I really like those cookies, and if I would do this recipe again, I would bake them longer and they would taste even better than Biscoff, I think. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate you making it this far and putting up with my rookie mistakes. Like I said, it's been a while since I've been on YouTube and I'm trying to learn how to do this all again. And yeah, if you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, share, follow me on Instagram, all that good stuff. And I hope to see you back here soon. Bye, guys.